YouTube live video. Facebook Live we normally do every Thursday night. We've been sick, so now we're going to go live on Facebook or YouTube and see how we can burn it down here.
With my hand.
So tonight we will be talking about the new TMNT trailer that just came out, the teaser trailer. We'll be talking about the DC Slate by James Gunn. We'll be talking about the Cocaine Bear we saw last week, and we'll be talking about the Scream franchise and Scream 6, Hopes, Dreams, Wants, and Fears. Let's start off with a nice, easy... let's start off with, did you get a chance to see the new teaser for the new TMNT?
I did. I have some thoughts. They're not horrible. They're not great. They're mediocre.
As have been a lot of the TMNT stuff ever since 1990. Yeah, the kids seem to have the turtles seem to have a nice little like 13, 14, really young on the teenage. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
In the 1990 and in the cartoons, they had a childlike sense to them, like, the fish out of water, turtle out of water.
Yeah.
So this I like even more. I like that we're starting off at the early stages of the turtles, which is cool. Bebop and Rocksteady looked massive. I'll have to see about that. I don't necessarily like the Into the Spider-Verse animation. I think it's really twitchy. I don't know.
I kind of liked it. It reminds me of the animation. That clear. It reminds me of when the PlayStation 2 and original Xbox had come out. There were a lot of video games that kind of had that animation style. One of them that I played regularly was called Drake. It was almost like it.
Swift mode. That's awesome.
Get Swifty. So one of the few games that I played a lot back then, and it was kind of like Samurai Jack meets Grand Theft Auto meets. It was weird. It was really weird. It was called Drake. It was a lot of fun. It had that animation, and when I saw the new Turtles trailer, I was like, I don't mind the animation. It seems all right. I think what bugs me is taking another animated movie with another star cast that's probably going to have the same regurgitated script as all of the past Turtles movies we have seen combined. It's going to fall flat. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's strange that like they had so many big names, like that's where a lot of the budget goes, and I understand that it's from Seth Rogen, and so you get all your buddies in there, but it is strange that you pump that much money just in voice actors when it's not really that necessary. But I mean, it'll help get some butts in the seats, but I don't know. We'll have to see.
I would like to be wrong. I would love to go into a Turtles movie and be like, that's what I needed. Because that has not happened. I have not walked into a movie theater and seen a Turtles movie and gone, that's what I needed. Because I didn't have the luxury of seeing the first one in theaters. Or even the second one. Like, after that, it's just kind of,
Yeah, I think I saw the 2011 one, and I hated it. I hated that like April was all of a sudden this ninjutsu master. Also, I was like, really, dude? Like everybody knows karate, and everybody. I was like, it's a little weak sauce. So that ghost mask that I just got this past Halloween, and then I got that Jason mask. I bought like 12 of those things for $1, the super cheap plastic ones. I figured I'd paint them fun things and just kind of have them in the background just for giggles. I was like, for $1, can't beat it.
Yeah. No, man, I think the '07 animated wasn't bad, but it wasn't spectacular. And I think the Michael Bay films were the travesty to ever happen to Turtles. And what's strange is this kills me to say these words, but there are people that I have now met and raised with those films instead of the original and the second, and they like the Michael Bay ones more than the others, and I don't understand it because it totally misses the point of anything that's going on in the comics. I mean, honestly, the first movie was a a light version of what was happening in the comics, right? So everything after that is an even lighter version of that. But it just, I respect the fact that they're at least into it. So do I wish that they saw the higher value of that original film over the rest? Yes. Maybe they will one day, but at the same time, at least they understand it. They've seen it. They've seen the new ones, and they're able to make their own opinion. And that's good. I'm glad. I'm also glad that somebody got enjoyment out of those movies. And I was super stoked when I found out that oh no, his name got away from me. Arrow, Oliver.
Stephen Amell.
When he got Casey Jones, I was like, I could actually see this working. If he brings what he brought to Arrow to Casey Jones, like I could see that working. And then I got to the movies and I saw the movie and I was like, nope.
Yeah. Yeah, they did not. They didn't give him a whole lot. I watched that movie one time, and I don't remember anything about it. I tried to watch the first movie like 6 or 7 times and kept falling asleep or just getting so annoyed by the movie I just turned it off. Like I think I remember they were like bulletproof. They're like 8 feet tall. It's just terrible CGI, terrible designs. I couldn't stand it, but I don't know. This new one, like I said, it brings the fun back of the '87 cartoon, in my opinion. And I think it will. I think it will be fun for parents to take their kids to and kids to go see even without their parents. So it's cool. It might be a good jumpstart for a new generation. My son was watching the 2011 or whatever no 2020 whatever the newest iteration of the cartoons, and he stopped watching it because they were so mean to each other and like he just didn't like how it was kind of mean spirited. So it did seem like it was for an older kid, like 8 to 12 probably. So hopefully this will be a little bit more for a younger generation. So but that's the nice thing about turtles. There's something for a lot of different people. There's a lot of different orders on the menu for a similar burger. But I don't know. I was watching the trailer and I went down to the comments just to see how people were feeling about it. Like, well, I was watching somebody else's reaction to it. Very nice guy. And most people were pretty excited, but there was like every fourth, fifth comment they were talking about April and how she's of a different color. And I was like, really, guys? Like, this is what you took away from the movie, like nothing else other than getting pissed about this right here. I was like, god dang it. Like, and then you're gonna make this guy probably have to go like defend these comments or completely ignore them. I was like, this is the dumbest thing on the planet. Just go watch the movie and turn your brain off. It is a turtle, ninja turtles, like stop being weird. It's ninja turtles, and you're gonna be weird about like
In,
anything stupid like that. Come on.
in the words of Ben Affleck, written by Smith, fictional characters.
Oh god, brutal.
Anyways,
Yeah.
well, yeah, no, I don't. I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope that I want to get the collector's edition. I hope that I want to buy the merch. Like Turtles is the one thing that I always have that hope for. Like, I mean, honestly, I've lost that faith in everything else, and I should have lost Turtles. But it's like there's just some glimmer of hope that they could do everything right with it because there's so much there. But I mean, like same with Turtles, same with Aliens, same with Predators, same with RoboCop, same with Batman. It's like it's all the same, and it's crushing every new failure that we get.
Yeah. Yeah, I just bought the '87 Turtles cartoon to watch with Jackson, and we're in the middle of season 2, season 3. Dude, it's so good.
Dude, I want to get the real Ghostbusters.
I just bought that. I got it for 20 bucks too. The entire like 10 seasons for 20 bucks on DVD.
I'd also like to get the Extreme Ghost because I remember that a lot on Fox Kids.
Oh yeah, I never saw that one, but okay, so let's move on to let's see. We got Scream, we got Cocaine Bear, and then we've got DC. What do you think? What's next? Do you think DC or Cocaine Bear?
Let's knock DC out. Let's
Okay.
get Painful Suture out.
You know,
I don't even like you're gonna reboot it all. You've dropped hints that you might go ahead and keep the person hired who kidnaps people based on how their movie does. I don't care. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm
yeah,
exhausted.
I mean, here's the thing with a lot of things in life, some things are black and white, and we can say that's wrong and that's right. And then there's some gray, a lot of stuff we don't know. And people like a comeback story. People like a redemption. You know, like with somebody in that spot, you know, popular. If they turn their life around, good things may come of this. Not only for them, but for other people. You know, it might be something where a couple bad things happen and maybe comes out of it a lot of good stuff, you know. I mean, a lot of money, charity, stories, you know. So I'm hoping for the best if that's how we do it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping for the best for everybody involved, just because what else are we going to do? Um,
I agree. I just at the same time, like the fact that that was a conversation when you let go Henry, you let go Ben, you let go of you quietly have let go of Jason Momoa. You quietly let go of like you let go of the core Avengers to keep the one person in that lineup who has done all of this crap, and that's the reason you pushed back. Well, not you, not James Gunn personally and his team, but that's the reason the movie got pushed back. That's the movie got reshoots. That's the reason that it got pushed back again. That's the reason it was talked about maybe disappearing entirely. That
yeah, it's weird that you kept the Flash, but you trashed Batgirl, which is, but by all intents and purposes, there's been multiple different versions of this of the Flash, and across the board, everybody seems like they've really liked it. Like everybody said, it's one of the best superhero movies like ever. So I'm wondering if it's either that good, or they're just like, you know, look, we got Michael Keaton back. There's no guarantee for how many more movies he's coming. Like, you know how much just in merchandise Michael Keaton will sell
this
alone?
that's kind of the thing too, right? Like after seeing Michael Keaton in this movie, if this is the same 1989 Batman, uh, you and I talked about this. My brother and I talked about this, but there is no way he is outperforming the martial arts of any of the other Batmen. Like there he's not doing the 72, 73-year-old jujitsu. It's just no, I don't buy it. I don't believe I
Well,
don't
and that's the problem too. And he like slings down and like then he shoots back up and does the flip thing and everything. I'm like,
exactly that.
that's not this Batman. This Batman is like the Jason Michael Myers of Batmans. He is a slow moving, methodical, like
Yeah.
he's a tank. Like, you know what I mean? Like he plays it slow and then he's like Yoda. He kicks it into high gear when he needs to. Like, but not that kind of high gear. Like you jumped you jumped Christian Bale and went straight Ben Affleck Batman. Like it's kind of strange.
That is something that I would expect from the DCEU Ben Affleck Batman.
Right.
That's not something I would expect from Christian Bale. That's not something I would expect from Pattinson. It's not something I would expect from Michael Keaton. I could totally see it with George Clooney, um, and maybe Val,
Kilmer.
but definitely not Michael Keaton. Like that's
Yeah, I mean, if it's one scene, I'll let it go, and it is what it is. But I think that like two things. Number one, apparently it's a really good. Well, three things. Number one, apparently it's a really good movie. Number two, like it could reset everything, and you could get rid of Ezra Miller. And number three, like I said, Michael Keaton. Like these are like things that like the movie needs to go. Like because you can use this, like, and you have to push this movie because it's already done. It's coming out. You can't say we're getting rid of Ezra Miller because you have to sell this until the movie's out, and then you can do whatever you want to do. Like it's the same thing with like you can't really not sell Aquaman. You can't really not sell Shazam. You still got to sell it like it's awesome and it matters, even when they might suck and they don't matter. Like you know what I mean? Like you still got to make that money when you're broke. Like WB Discovery broke.
man. I gotta be honest. I have very little desire, and the only reason I'm going to see the Flash is because of Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck. That's it. That's really it. I have no desire for Aquaman 2. I have no zero desire for Shazam 2.
Zero.
I don't have any interest in getting the new story arc of this. I don't. I'm not ready for a new Batman and a new Wonder Woman and a new Supergirl and a new all that. I'm tired, man. Like I think we need a 5 to 10 year vacation from the superhero universes to just kind of let it rest. And then go
Right.
be like, okay, maybe let's start and do something like MCU did with the first phase. Let's give you a movie, let's give you a movie, let's kind of loosely tie them together, and then we'll pull them all together in one film. It's going to knock everybody off their feet for years to come. Like, still to this day, the first Avengers movie is stupid. It is like you can't deny it. Is it has it lost some of its flair over the years? Yes, but it is still probably one of the best done. I would argue the best done crossover superhero movie because it was the first of its kind, and it did so swimmingly.
I don't know. I got a soft spot for League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but that's just me. Uh,
That is
I'm,
just
I know I do like the movie, but I know nobody else does. But it's not better than the Avengers. But no, it's just a solid from start to finish superhero movie. Like it flows great, characters are awesome, chemistry's there, special effects hold up. Like the sky beam isn't played out yet, and it makes sense. You're opening up a portal somewhere else. Like it just the previous movies flow perfectly into it. The whole thing, like Loki as the main villain, it feels good the whole way through. That's what she said. Here we go. So, it's weird how you said that like a lot of the actors are not coming back, but there's a lot in this. It says James Gunn said that those other worlds still exist and that they could be. Those movies could still happen. Like other things could happen. Other like what if scenarios. So that's interesting. Um, it says that Peacemaker season 2 that'll be coming out. I loved the first season; it's a lot of fun. It's a little bit of turn your brain off, but John Cena is awesome in that role. I went back and rewatched the Suicide Squad, which I really didn't care for the first go around, but I liked it a lot more the second time, knowing what I was getting into. But I still prefer the first Suicide Squad, as sad as that is.
I couldn't get all the way into it, and I still haven't finished this day. I kind of just don't, you know, I well, I it feels played out. Like it feels like I'm done. I don't know. I think, and it's like beating a dead horse, but after getting what the DCEU was going to be and the directions that it was going to go, and then knowing that it got the boot, like you just like got these expectations really high and then just shut them all the way down. So it was like, I don't
Right,
yeah, I I got
right.
nothing.
And then like the so spoilers for the Suicide Squad, but like you open it up, my nose itches. You open it up and like you kill off a couple of the main characters very quickly. And I spoiler again, I loved Captain Boomerang. I love Jai Courtney. It's a dumb character, but he is one of the best parts in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And so I had to get over that. Later on, there's another death that's huge, and I love that character. So like it kind of felt like, and then they didn't bring back Deadshot. They brought in oh, Deadshot, Death. Damn, what's his name? Deadshot. I lost his name. Bloodsport. Bloodsport.
Is
And
that
so that, yeah, and it really did feel like they wanted Will Smith, but they couldn't get him, so they just put a similar. I mean, it's his own character, but a very similar, and like the uses guns, doesn't miss, has a kid, yada yada. But I had fun with it after I turned my brain off. I bought all the figures. I also bought almost all the figures from the original Suicide Squad very recently because I was just into them and I knew that that was done. So you could even feel in the Suicide Squad them deleting the old, starting new stuff, like just not caring really for a lot of the material. It just feels wishy. The whole everything in the whole franchise felt wishy washy. But
and they pulled a Nightmare 4 on you.
oh God, did they ever? But I do love Amanda Waller, and like I said, the Peacemaker's pretty solid. But anyway, so the Brave and the Bold, that'll be the DC, the Batman one. It'll be interesting to see. Like it's it's strange because we're gonna jump into another Batman that's deep into being Batman, and then he's gonna have. It's awesome because we're gonna get what we wanted, which is we're gonna get a Nightwing, probably we're gonna get a Batgirl, and we're gonna get Damian Wayne as Robin, as a suicidal assassin being trained under Batman. It's going to make for a really kind of interesting dynamic and a lot of surrounding lore. So I'm excited for that.
I am stupid exhausted by the thought of that. Like the Arkham games. Like this is where we need to go. Like let's just movies and make more Arkham games. Like it just dude, I don't know. Another Batman. So you've got Ben Affleck who's fresh out of his contract. You've got the glittering vampire and whoever this new person is going to be, which well, we're not sure who that is. We're sure that they've talked about who they want already, and I don't, man, you had it with Ben Affleck
You
and
had it.
gone.
You had it. I feel like people just hate Ben Affleck because you can't tell me his performance sucks.
Dude, The Town. If you say you hate Ben Affleck and you think he has no range, he has no character, he has no development, The Town.
All right. Triple Frontier on Netflix. Check it out, guys. If you haven't seen it, it's awesome.
That was a surprise to me. At about the halfway mark, I was like, no.
Dude,
And
that movie.
and I just waited. I was like, they did that.
Yeah,
No.
Charlie Hunnam and Pedro Pascal, man. Just and then the other guy from Four Brothers, the youngest brother.
I can't think of his name, but yeah. No, that was a pretty good movie. Or, it just his Batman was what if we're going Bruce Wayne again for the 197,000th time, at least we were getting him later on in his career. We weren't getting the full origin story. We were getting his story leading to his retirement. Cool. But now that that's what people kind of want, I can see that's where Brave and the Bold is going to go. Like it's
See what I'm secretly hoping is that they will, because they're talking about Ben Affleck directing this movie, which is super weird to me. I don't understand it, but I would like. What if they were just like they're keeping everybody and like all the actors under wraps? Like, what if they were just like, and Ben Affleck is back as Batman, and we're following on this storyline now? Like, I don't know how everything's going to interweave and intertwine and do all this crazy stuff, but like I don't care. Give me back Ben Affleck and then throw that kid aspect into it. I love it.
I'll be more into it if that's the case, but I'll keep an eye out because Ben Affleck and J Lo have been all over the social media news. So if Ben Affleck starts suddenly getting jacked again, I'll place my bets.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so then we're gonna go to Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. It's supposed to be more of like a gritty, like I don't know, man. I just not trying to be mean. I haven't seen the original Supergirl in years. I saw it. I thought it was okay as a kid when there wasn't a whole lot of superhero movies coming out. But like I don't attach myself to Supergirl like I do Superman. So like it's not already starting off on the right foot for me. She's not intertwined with anything, so it doesn't get me excited. Like if it excites you, awesome. To me, I just lost my Superman. We're gonna get another Superman, but I don't even like. We can go straight into the next Superman. Like I'm not excited for that either. Like
I don't want a new Justice League setup. I don't want a new. Honestly, that's why I say DC's got to stop. They got to stop. They are never going to be able to catch up to what Marvel did from what 08 to 2020, 2019. There's just no way.
yeah, well, and yeah, Marvel's seeing a huge decline now because of the quality going down and everything, and stories are going down. But
I mean, honestly, all their core is like, for the most part, gone now. The core Avengers, the big names in Avengers, which is why I think we're starting to see rumors of certain ones coming back for cameos, and they're opening up multiverse because not going to be easy to top without those characters showing up. You're not going to have the whole stadium of people cheering, but if Cap shows up, if Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man shows up, even if it's a cameo, that'll get people in the seats.
Dude, I saw something, and this could be a spoiler, but this is just a fan theory. But at the end of Endgame, when spoilers for Endgame, 3, 2, 1. But when the Iron Man helmet is on the table and it shoots the projection of Tony, I heard that that is actually Tony's a part of Tony's soul in the Iron Man suit of the helmet, based on the way when he snaps the Soul Stone, he had the Soul Stone, and a part of him is in the suit, and it's actually a part of the comics lore because at the end of it, when he's talking to his daughter, you can see him turn and look right at her, dead to where she's sitting. And I was like, if they were to bring him back that way to where he can jump between Iron Man suits and he's Iron Man in the suit, I was like, that is baller if they bring him back that way.
It would be, but what they're going to do is they'll bring in a different story arc of probably an evil Tony to make it.
Yeah, well, but they were talking about doing prequels too, like Secret War would be before Endgame and some other stuff. But I'm just saying, I thought that would be baller. But anyway, getting back to DC, so Swamp Thing. Wes Craven did the original in '82. I haven't seen it again since I was a kid. It freaked me out at that time just because I was, very small. But it's just not. It's not a character with enough love that I think it has enough legs to do anything. Like it just.
I think I think you have to be a super fan of Swamp Thing to be able to find the love for a series or a movie about Swamp Thing. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah, trailers are gonna have to hook you hard. Like it's gonna need to really grab you.
I think that the character design is amazing. Everything
Mm-hmm.
comes up, but the stories have never hooked me. That's just me.
Yeah,
If it hooks you, awesome. I'm glad it does. And you deserve it. I hope that the movie just knocks every other DC film out of the park. I hope it does. Man, could you imagine if that movie came out of nowhere and was just way better than everything else?
right. Well, I mean, I don't know the way like Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy kind of proved that you can take a lesser known IP and blow it up. But
That's the other thing. I'm kind of getting nervous. Is James Gunn going to Guardians of the Galaxy, some of these lesser knowns, or some of these quote unquote B-listers that haven't made their claim to fame yet? Like, are we going to see the same jokes, the same kind of, oh, it looks pretty and everything's got a large implication, but the whole movie's a joke?
right, right. Well, it says that Swamp Thing's supposed to be on the darker side, so we'll have to see on that. So Creature Commandos. This is the one with Amanda Waller with basically another Suicide Squad, and then I guess on top of that they're gonna do. So that's a series. I guess they're gonna do another series with called Waller, and we're gonna follow the same gal, I guess, from Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad, which again I like her, but I don't think she can carry an entire show. We'll see.
Okay, the actress herself can. It was I think it's called How to Get Away with Murder or Murder 101 or something like that. Man, she is awesome. She played this like lawyer professor with these students. And it was very dramatized and somebody gets killed and she tries to help and dude, it was a wild show. Um
Right.
but
And when I meant she, I mean the character. Like when you watch her in Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad, and Peacemaker, she's very in the shadows. She's very one note. She's very Terminator-esque. And I
yeah,
just sometimes I like to leave characters like Nick Fury and stuff like that, like these tough guys or ladies. They don't say very much. They're there, they're in and out. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like watching the Winter Soldier. Like when he was evil and just tearing stuff up, he's one of the coolest characters on the planet. Then you give him a sob story, you give him a little bit more, we dive a little deeper, and he's not. I mean, he's a more fleshed out character, but he's just not as interesting or BA. Does that make sense?
Through Civil War, you stop caring about him that much.
Right. Yeah. I think it's a one note character that you can't really go. I don't want to see you go too deep on, but I don't know. That's just me. But Booster Gold, comic relief character, time traveler, no clue. Never heard of him. Don't care.
You have the comic relief. You're just literally releasing Shazam 2.
Right.
Like, I mean, I'm not gonna go see it. I don't wanna.
Yeah. Other than Batman, this next one's probably got me the most excited because I think it'll make a lot of people happy, and then won't be like, well, I want this guy, I want that guy, blah blah blah, and other nonsense. But Lanterns, so it'll be a buddy cop, a dark mystery. I keep hearing like True Detective, which I love. It's a great series. At least the first season was. I watched the second one, very good. But so it's gonna have Hal Jordan and it's gonna have John Stewart, two awesome Green Lanterns going across the galaxy. Could be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, that could be interesting. I don't know. I again, Skybeam, superheroes, villains being misused, story arcs being kind of the same thing with different character names. I'm I'm superhero. Like it's just like the westerns. It's just like slashers. It's just like everything gets its like heyday, and then we get burnout. And eventually the tickets stop selling, so people stop going, and then you get Batman and Robin, and it all dies for about 10 years, which if we could stop before we made it to that point, it would be so great. Where you just let it rest. You just let it
Right.
chill.
And that's what's crazy is like he's saying that he's got like 10 years planned and like we're throwing out all this stuff. I was just like, holy God, like you didn't throw out a slate of like 3 or 4 movies. Like you remember like what was it, like 8 years ago when they talked about the Flash and like back in like 2015 or whatever it was? Like
Yeah.
that they had like a lineup of like 6 movies. Like they have a lineup of like 10 movies and they haven't even made one yet. Like
Dude, Man of Steel 2 is the movie I want the most. And you know how many times it was tossed up in the DC universe lineup and given to the fans at Comic Con and all.
yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Now, here's one I could care less about, and to be honest with you, unless you're a diehard fan of the character, I just don't understand why you'd be interested at all. But Paradise Lost of Themyscira, so it's about the history of the Amazons, and like we don't know if Gal Gadot is going to come back. I just don't care. Like I just don't care. Don't care.
Yeah, I feel like so they've got to do something to try and build interest, right? Like since you're coming off the heels of a Justice League, and I think it's funny because I've read some articles about how WB wishes they would have never given in to the Zack Snyder Justice League because it's still like the number one like push fans kick against them. Duh. Um,
Right.
it'd be if you didn't like so, and it's not our fault you made all the poor choices you've made.
Yeah,
But
by their side of things, it would have been better just to leave the 2017 Justice League and just let it burn. Because I like the movie, but I know a lot of people didn't.
um, I disagree with every word you just spoke. But
A lot of people didn't. That's factual.
okay, I'll give you that section. But I think that kind of trying to grit people so there is somebody out there who's going, I do wonder what led to that, which fine, but again, you're gonna have to hook people. Like you're gonna have to give a compelling story. So I will say this: Wonder Woman, the first Gal Gadot film, is like a 9.5 until the bland villain.
Yeah,
Third act, it falls apart. The movie is unique, going at a great pace. It's got everything you need in a superhero movie. And then that third act was just bleh. It was
yeah.
like ran out of everything good, and they were like, "We're gonna do everything every other comic book movie did, starting now."
Yeah. Yeah, you can feel the movie really crash into the ground right when she gets onto that military base. Yeah, like as soon as the original villain goes down, it's bad. But yeah, it kind of is like the Suicide Squad or Suicide Squad of 2016 or whatever. Movie, in my opinion, movie's pretty solid all the way until they leave the bar, and then that movie like literally takes two steps back and never mind. I was gonna go Tropic Thunder, but yeah, it face plants too.
Yeah. No, dude, I don't know. I feel like all these movies are gonna do that, especially it's gonna be hard to introduce new characters. Again, Marvel's struggling to do it. I get DC maybe being like, maybe if they're struggling, we can like glow at this since we failed our attempt at a Justice League. But I don't know.
Well,
I don't
again, like, and I don't mean to be rude to anybody that if this is your thing or whatever, but like, nobody cares about Themyscira. Nobody cares about that. Nobody. It'll face plant. Like it. I mean, unless it's really good. Hey, quality is quality. But if it's generic, it'll face plant.
honestly, none of us expected Aquaman to be as good as it was. Like,
Right. Right. But it's not even in the it's not top 10 of the past 10 years.
no, but it's probably the number one movie that we all went to see expecting garbage and walked out going, that wasn't bad.
Right. It really wasn't. It really wasn't. But again though, like you're gonna put like $150 million into a Supergirl movie. You're gonna put $100 million into a Swamp Thing movie. Like really, guys? Like really? Like here's my thing. You have Batman. Batman and his villains are more interesting than everybody else in your entire DC worlds. I'm sorry, hate me, whatever, it's fine. But like you've got so many villains you've never touched, so many storylines you've never touched. Your entire franchise should just be Batman. And people would eat it up. If it's quality and it's awesome, people will eat it up and you can build and build and build. You got to stop building everything and just build what people want, what's actually marketable.
I think all doing like a Batman anthology film series would be great. You've got so many different Batmen, Batwomen, Bat family. You've got so many different timelines, so many different story arcs. You got different continents with different Batmen. Like you've got so many that are there, and you just keep regurgitating a Bruce Wayne story.
Right, right. And that's why I'm hoping that Brave and the Bold will be able to. You can do flashbacks to Batman, Bruce, and then you can keep building forward with all of that. And you can hopefully, if they do it right, like they were with Ben Affleck, you can bring in some of these unrealistic, like super duper super villains, like Clayface and whatnot.
What if they got super bold and killed Bruce Wayne off in the first act?
No,
Then
God, no, don't do that.
you would hook me if you have the Bat family seeking the revenge in your first movie. I would probably be interested in that bold of a move.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's a bit far. Like you can't kill off the best character in your entire. No.
They can if they got Terry McGinnis, my boy.
Yeah, that well again, yeah, that's something we've never done a Batman Beyond. Like guys, I love Superman, I love Green Lanterns, I loved Wonder Woman, but like it's Batman. Like that is the DC. Like that's what superheroes were built on. Like I love Superman 78.
Yeah.
Love it. Come on. Come on, let's be real. Anyway, I don't know. I'll see trailers. I want to see the cast. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Not much faith in it. I'm excited for the Flash just to see Michael Keaton again. We're gonna have to put ourselves in the mindset of take what's good and leave the rest. And we got two movies with Michael Keaton in my entire lifetime. And so like one more is, you know, huge.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Can we
So
move on to Cocaine Bear?
Cocaine Bear. Oh my God. So Elizabeth Banks. from
This
Zack and Mary Make a Porno, and from Power Rangers, and a bunch of others.
this was a cinematic masterpiece. No, it wasn't, but it was. I think it's hilarious that a lot of the articles that I've seen written by like film reviewers and old critics and things like this are missing the whole point of the movie. They are frustrated that it's not as big or as like grounded as a lot of movies. And it's like, no, this is a B-rated movie disguised by an A+ budget.
Right,
Brilliant. Like it's
right.
no it's I want you to hear it's not good quality movie, but it is a great movie. It's I laughed so hard in that movie. I can't even explain it. Like you've got to see it. Like yeah, I know that we're like what a week and a half, 2 weeks late. You've got to go see it. I highly recommend seeing it in theaters. It's a great experience. And now apparently, oh God, what did I see? There's a in the works at another theater or another film company. There's something about potentially doing a film spin-off of a crocodile who does meth.
Oh, jeez.
Like, so we're getting Floridia in on this, eh?
Yeah.
So, you know, we're just gonna keep going.
Yeah. So the movie has a good budget. There are some things in it that I felt like it was trying. Like, I don't know if a lot of the money went to the marketing and the special effects and stuff like that, but it did feel a little not fan filmy, but like it's all like this is not really a spoiler, but it's like all in daylight. So like the lighting is good, but it just felt like on the cheaper side, like they needed to. Like some of the set designs and the areas that it's shot in feels like the budget couldn't quite go there for like a full like more people, bigger, like running through the town or a carnival or something crazy. Like it just kind of felt like it was a COVID shot some money behind it, some love behind it. But I enjoyed the movie. I think that the movie's an hour and 35 minutes long. That's what I was looking up real quick, and it feels an hour and like it feels like 2 hours. I feel like the movie unfortunately has too many characters in it, too many couples, too many friendships or whatever, too much stuff going on. I feel like you needed to speed up a couple or delete a couple of the individuals because I just don't care. Like I want to see the bear rip through all these people. Like you can't make me like these people and you can't make me hate these people. I love the bear and that's all I want to see. So I think when the movie is trying to be a movie and is trying to like put any kind of plot in it, it's almost like going against its own grain of like knowing what it is. It's like stop trying to be a movie and just have this bear rip people apart. I get it. I get it for the budget and for what it is. It's got to be, but it felt like that every time it did it. It kind of took away from the movie.
Oh man, I enjoyed the idea of all of these people as they're running into each other, trying to explain the situation that's happening. Like each person's version of that was hilarious. Like the dude from the beginning of the movie when he's found later and he's just like, "Hi, hi," dude. And then when oh god, Ice Cube's son, um, O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's
that
his
sounds
name.
right.
Um, when he gets the dog and he's like looking at the dog like, did the dog do cocaine too? Just he's like, I'm not taking any chances on this. Um, that made it interesting, and then the cop on top of the gazebo, like it made it worth it for me. I do think that the stories were a little drawn out, a little much, but at the same time, I did like the kids. I liked their kind of like, oh, we're gonna go explore and do our own thing. Like I remember being a kid, being adventurous, kind of me and one of the neighbor kids used to ride our bikes through everywhere around, and we'd find things that we could to mess with. Like there was an old caving in barn in the woods in behind our houses, and we'd find like black snakes and stuff like that, and it kind of had that same vibe, like I was that kid once, and so so I really enjoyed that. I think honestly the weakest was probably the mom.
Yeah.
Like I think she had a lot to offer, but it felt like it was eh.
Yeah, I mean, fairly one note character, but good enough for the story. I mean, Ray Liotta, rest in peace, brought it for his last performance. He was a lot of fun. Some of
Ridiculous.
that I kind of wonder, like, how the character was written and how he does his thing. I kind of think there was a little bit of extra magic there that wouldn't have been without him, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Um, so, I mean, overall, I would give the movie a solid 8. I think it's a lot of fun. It, it's solid from start to finish. That guy that's in the IKEA little clips or whatever, that guy's hilarious. So yeah, I do think that this is a stream it movie. I don't think this is a theatrical movie. Like a bigger screen, I don't think necessarily helps this movie. We weren't in a big enough crowd to where, I mean, there were some times where people were laughing. I was laughing more than everybody else to where like I thought I was that guy. Like this is funny and nobody's laughing. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. Good movie. See it in the theater or don't. I think you're gonna be okay either way. But I definitely give it probably an 8 out of 10, especially for what it is. I'd give
Yeah,
it an 8 out of 10.
that's the thing to take away from this. This movie is extremely unique. It's not gonna be for everybody, but if you want to see a movie that's just wild, doesn't really make sense, and you're in it for a good time, it's a great movie.
Right.
That's that's what I got. Signed the guy whose new favorite horror movies are the Terrifier films.
Yeah, horror for as on fire as it was, it's definitely going downhill, and that's the problem with a lot of these. I don't know, with a steady decline in quality, eventually people are going to walk away from it and it's going to die off again. So that's the problem with mediocrity and like with the lower quality. Like guys, like you need to demand more or it's going to die faster. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so moving on to Scream franchise talk. We'll probably blast through this fairly quickly. Just so Scream comes out later this week. We're gonna see it. We're gonna try to get together on Saturday and get our combined thoughts. And so we'll both see it and then we'll give it a day or two to let it breathe and we'll come together and see what each other thought. But so I've rewatched 1, 2, and 3. I was planning on watching 4 today, but I got anyway work and whatnot. But um, Scream 6 is going to be the movie of the year. Um, yeah.
I'm not sure I'll go movie of the year, but here's the thing.
And now is that Jason? Is that you? Like I'm afraid to just I'm not sure who came in here, so I'm assuming, but I hate to. Swift mode is new, so I hate to. Maybe if I'm wrong, my bad.
Thinking Swifty. Scream 6 is it sure
Figured.
uh, Scream 6 is actually the first Scream that I'm gonna go see in theaters or hope to see in theaters. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. Like I wasn't looking forward to 3 that much. Well, I was because Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? Like that was the rumor he was gonna be in it. I was like, yes. Wasn't in it. Hated the movie. Now I admit it's not nearly as bad as everybody gives it crap for. Still not my favorite. Scream 4 was meh. Scream 5. And this, oddly, the trailer, when they show that gas station, or not, well, convenience store, gas station shot,
Right.
just that has more tension than everything since Scream 2. It just does.
Yeah. Yeah. Swifty says that slash Jason. I'm just gonna call you Swift, and so that way,
Yeah.
anybody else, yeah, they know what I'm talking about. But yeah. Says I haven't been so hyped for a movie in a long time. Yeah, and this is what I was asking for Scream 5. Give me something different. Like again, like we talked about with Halloween Ends, like make it a cult, have other people there where a lot of Michaels die early and you don't know who's what. Like with Halloween 4, when there's that scene wherever like other people are playing pranks and everybody's got like a Michael Myers mask on, stuff like that where people accidentally die because they were wearing a ghost face mask and they were messing around. Like they had no intentions of hurting anybody. They died because they were being stupid. You know what I mean? Like, uh, or people that actually want to hurt people and like they die because they're just a dummy with a mask that, like a lot of these people are just regular teenagers or young adults that I don't know if like this many people could just like, hey, I'm going to be Ghostface, and now all of a sudden I'm a mastermind, and me and you we can connect. Hey, you're going to call him and you're going to say this, this, and this at 8:30. I'm going to kick in the door, and then you're going to do this, this, and this. Like that is a lot of team effort for young adults that are nobodies, no training, no nothing. Like it's the longer it goes on, the more unbelievable it gets. So having a few people die that are worthless nobodies would make me feel better about previous worthless nobodies. You know what I'm saying? Like good. Like finally somebody that's worthless and that really is nobody in a ghost face mask just dies. Like give me something different. Ghostface with a gun. That was one of my questions. Does it bother you? Swift, does it bother you? Like, what do you go for it?
Me? No. I'll just toss it out there while we wait on his response. That scene in the trailer actually it makes sense because he's got the knife, but then the dude pulls the gun. He gets the gun from the guy, and then he's like, "All right, I'll use it." I mean, Ghostface isn't subject to only use stabbing objects. If you watch the first one, I mean, hit me with a phone, dick. Like it just, there's guns. There's guns.
Right. Right. Swift said I did it first, but now as long as they don't overuse it. So I'm of the same opinion. Like I don't want Ghostface walking through the subway or through the houses or whatever with Uzi machine guns. Like if it's there and they use it, that's cool. But like a part of Ghostface. Now this is interesting because I went back and watched 1, 2, and 3, and even 4. Ghostface needs to be fast, and you need to be able to ditch the stuff quickly. And I just feel like having a gun kind of takes away from that. Like there are some scenes that, well, and maybe we'll get to that here in a little bit when we go over more of the franchise. But yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. I like it. I think it raises the stakes. Ghostface is always human. He's never been supernatural. He or she, they, whatever, has never been supernatural. So I think it's very normal. So yeah, Ghostface has never used a gun in costume. That is correct. Yeah, I think that checks out. So yeah, it doesn't bother me. So again, the shrine looks cool. I'm interested about that. Hopefully, we get multiple ghost faces. I don't care about the gun. It's interesting, raises the stakes. I'm excited there. How do we feel about Kirby coming back? Do we feel that she is a red herring? Do we feel that she's going to be a big deal, killed off early, or is she a part of the Ghostface cult, which would make a little bit of sense? And sorry, it's a lot of questions. Does it feel weird that she's not in 5 and in 6?
I'm happy she's back. Doesn't feel weird that she's not in 5 because I feel like New York City is going to be the reason that she's appearing.
Okay.
I do think they're going to allude to the fact that one of the survivors is the killer until the very last moment. But instead, I think she's honestly going to be the fill-in for Sydney. Like, I really think that's the direction it's going to go. I'm excited to have Kirby back because of all the weird things with Scream 4, she's one of the best things about the movie.
Right. Right. Let's see. Where was I going with that? Sorry, I was trying to think where I was going. Scream 6. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Kirby. We'll see how she's utilized. I'm not really sure. Like, oh, with the sisters. the daughter. So we're getting into spoilers, guys. If you haven't seen Scream 5 or whatever, Scream 4, if you don't want to be spoiled, but with the sisters, the Billy Loomis visions that she has of her dad, like, I hate him so much. I think it's so cheesy and stupid and fan, it's just there for the fans. I hate it to the moon and back. Do you think they will use more of that? Do you think we're going to get a payoff with her either being a total BA and like hunting down these Ghostface cult, maybe? Or do you think she's going to be a Ghostface?
I think it's going to be a huge missed opportunity. That's one of two things is either going to happen. She's still going to be having those visions and absolutely nothing is going to come of it. Or that whole part of the story is going to be swept under the rug like it never happened. Kind of like Dr. Satan with House of a Thousand Corpses. Just
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if he's even in this movie, to be honest with you. Or yeah, if they're just going to like, she's on new meds and she never sees him again or something. Like, I don't know. Or it'd be one of those things where what if they do what? Oh my god, dude! What if they go completely stupid and they do like a Green Goblin thing where her dad takes over in her mind, and like they only show Billy because Billy is now talking for her. That's how you get Skeet Ulrich back, dude. Like if they do that, that is the dumbest thing ever. Uh, uh, no issues with Kirby, says Swift. I think they'll get rid of flashback thing. Yeah.
I think part of what makes me excited is all the fan hype and theories about Stu. Like, it's just
Again, we don't know any spoilers. I've hidden from all spoilers. So this is just us talking about what could be. Like
and
and we and other fans probably dig into this more than they actually put into the movies. Like I understand there was a lot of thought in Scream 5, but not in my opinion, not good story plot points. Like you could have the best, most BA Ghostface on the entire planet. Like when they're in the costume doing awesome stuff. But if that reveal isn't paid off, if you don't actually buy those killers and that outfit, the whole movie is ruined. Sorry, not sorry. That's just, it is what it is. I have to believe a 110-pound gal can do this damage.
I hope, and I know you just said, sir, so sorry that you're tired of the Stu theories. I hope this is the moment that we get the redemption for the Scream 3 original script.
I do
I
too.
I really do. Because I feel like that's one way to actually honor Wes Craven, is to take that idea. Like, of course he changed it. Of course everybody agreed to change it after everything that had happened just then. Anybody with a heart would. But bringing it back now, it would be kind of like, okay, this was his idea. This is where he wanted to go with it. This is what he wanted to see. Um, let's do it. Like let's go ahead and bring it back. You don't have to go hog wild with it and make it like evil genius or anything. You just make it like mom and dad hid that he didn't die and he just happened to be, you know, in the back working in a laptop, just kind of staying out of the public eye. Like you don't have to go grand scheme mega mind with it. Just little things.
Well, you could always just say like he was in a coma. Like what I would go with is that he was in a coma and he woke up and escaped.
Do not Halloween for this.
I,
No.
what do you want? Like, and when people are like he cannot survive, from this TV, like, was it heavy? Yes. Was he stabbed multiple times? Yes. But when you watch the movie, like I watched him, dude, like you could argue that his hands go up to help brace that TV as it's falling because his hands are like this. You could say that he helped brace the TV. That's all I'm saying. It is very feasible that he's alive.
Well, Mr. Swifty, what about his cameo in Scream 2?
Yeah. A blink and you miss it. But
Yeah,
um,
it I think if they don't do something with Stu, it's the biggest missed opportunity the second time in a row.
yeah, I think like again, like I've said, like okay, so let's go through the franchise a little bit. So, first movie, we got Stu and Billy. They decide to kill Sydney's mom, Maureen, because she was sleeping with Billy's dad, ruined the family. Mom split. So he goes nuts. They love horror movies, so they decide to go crazy and kill people. And then, a year later, they decide to kill people and whatnot. Um, and Billy and Stu are memorable killers because they are extremely fast, especially Stu. He's extremely fast. Like in the convenience store, when you see that ghost face blink and he's gone, really feels Stewish. Like, but anyway, Billy also. This is something that the franchise really didn't do anymore after that first movie, and it's something that nobody talks about. That first movie, Billy is hardcore. Like in the opening kill scene, like apparently the Maureen kill scene was like really nasty and like she was very messed up. Same thing with Drew Barrymore. She's hung from a tree and like insides are out. Like parents can't get a hold of her. Like it's really dark and disturbing. He goes on later on, and Principal Henry, he strings him up from the goalpost or whatever in the high school. Like I can't imagine doing that in broad daylight, but like he was a really like vicious, nasty, like look at my work of art kind of stuff. And like the Stu and him chemistry is unmatched throughout the rest of the entire franchise. That's why every other killer after that is a downgrade. I think that in the second movie, I think Mickey is a phenomenal killer. He fits that Ghostface role perfectly with loving movies, instant quoting, coming up with little quirky things as he's going on. Like he sells the Ghostface killer. Unfortunately, like the reveal is great, but they don't do anything with him for the very very end. They give it all to Mrs. Loomis, which kind of sucks. But she is awesome, to be fair, and I buy her as only getting a couple kills in the entire movie. I buy her kills, like they feel like that would be her. She could do that. Um, moving on to the third movie, I understand all the complaints.
Real quick, timeout. So far, everything you've said, I'm on board with. I just wanted to toss that out there.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's just in how it plays. I will say though, like when you go back and you really watch and you try to put yourself in the Ghostface killer, like what you would do and how you need to move around. Some of it is a little crazy how they're he throws off Cece off the balcony, like stabs her in the back, throws her off the balcony, and then he goes back to the party. Now that could have been Mrs. Loomis, but it feels more like it was Mickey because he's not at the party. And then he comes back, and then like the Ghostface across the street kills somebody. Cops show up, and then he attacks her. He attacks Sydney like right across the street in the Ghostface, and like certain things like that when they're in costume, especially broad daylight, and like in Scream 5, you're like, damn, like it almost feels like we the audience have to see them in the Ghostface outfit, but like maybe really they're just no. Well, then the people that die, you know what I'm saying? Like if they maybe they weren't in outfit. But anyway, going to Scream 3, I understand the complaints. I actually think that Cotton would have been a better like people would have bought that a lot more. Like when you watch him in Scream 2, he really does feel weird and kooky and like he could snap from being imprisoned for over a year. Like everybody hating him. You really could have pushed the fan mail hate, all that stuff, pissed off at Sydney. I feel like it would have kind of hurt his ending to the second one, but you could have warped him into the killer in the third one. But Roman going back, tying in the whole story is about Sydney's mom. Sydney's mom broke up a family, turned the kid insane. Her son was killed, so Mrs. Loomis comes in. You're building all this off of the love of horror and the loss of family and the betrayal of infidelity. So I think bringing back Sydney's mom, having a life that nobody knew about for 2 years, having a son that nobody knew about, working his way up through Hollywood, kind of involving that. Like the third movie's not as quirky and it doesn't work as well, but I think he's a great killer. I think he's a great ghost face, fits the build, loves movies. Like it really fits. Then you kick into the fourth movie, and here's where like they really started to drop the ball right into the fifth movie. Again, we go back to Sydney's mom. The sister's in there. The aunt talks about Sydney's mom, how nobody cared about anybody but her. Um, uh, and then you've got Sydney there at the end with the niece or whatever. Again, I'm not buying it. She's good for maybe one or two kills. The mastermind of these movies, again, if we bring back Stu, here's another thing I wanted to say. The mastermind of these movies usually is the one hanging back because, like they said, in the fourth movie, like the escape, the scapegoat, like one of them does all the work while the other one is the mastermind, and they can kind of say, "Well, it wasn't me, it was that guy," or they can just blame everything on that person and pretend like they never existed, right? So, like, if Stu let Billy think he was the mastermind and do all the work, Stu, who we could say really was the mastermind, was in the background. It kind of works because you watch Mrs. Loomis. Mickey does all the work. Same thing in Scream 4. And Swift was right. Scream 3, only a solo killer. At least that we know of. Could have been another one, maybe that, who knows. You could come back and kind of retro do that if you wanted to, but 4, it's the same thing. Jill was the mastermind, and what's his name? Damn, a lot of Macaulay Culkin, yeah, his cousin or whatever. But I think that works. But again, she's tiny, he's tiny. I buy it enough for that movie because that movie didn't do anything to offend me like Scream 5 did. Rest in peace, Dewey. I'm not, maybe Jill, or not Jill, but maybe that gal took credit for Stu's kill. I just think piss poor writing. If Dewey's going down this way, you have to make me believe it. You've got to make me believe it. He died for something. I'll buy that. Fight scene was okay. I'll buy that. But I don't buy that. Again, I don't buy it. Your thoughts, man. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I'm going for it. You go.
No, actually, I agree. I also think that the of all of the Scream movies, the only one that was executed. I know I'm gonna piss off a lot of the Scream people, and sorry, the only one that I think was executed perfectly was the first. After that, I think the sequel, of course, made sense because it's Wes Craven, it's meta, it makes sense. And Scream 2 is amazing. I think when they had to cancel the Scream 3 script because of everything going on in the world, I think maybe they should have froze for a minute and went,
Yeah.
okay, what else could we do? And I feel like they probably did have a team that was dedicated to which ideas are the best, which ones will stick to a wall. Maybe instead of just going with the one that seems the best, take an even longer break. You mull it over. You keep going. Because every time something like that happens, the movie that was going to be kind of almost too dark because of certain events in the world right now are okay in 2 years. Like maybe push back, push back.
Right. Yeah. People forget kind of quickly, especially now that it's become the norm that, yeah, if it comes out like right on the back of it, it looks bad, but otherwise.
Scream 4, I do have a respect for in the way that it was kind of trying to mock all of the remakes while also letting us know it's the only way that a lot of these franchises that aren't Scream can. Um, so I give it like an FU and a pass for it at the same time. Scream 5 was just an utter disappointment that I saw the Dewey thing coming, but I did not see it coming by who it was supposed to be from.
Right.
It felt like Sydney was an afterthought. She to be there. It felt like it was jumbled. It felt rushed. It felt just to make a Scream movie for Scream movie's sake.
Yeah, I think that's why. And Swift said that I find 2 and 3 better than 1, but I do love 1. Yeah, I think Scream 2 is as good of a sequel as you could have ever hoped for. I think that the killers, it makes sense. Again, Debbie Salt is Miss Loomis is looking for somebody to take the rap. You need somebody that will kill multiple people, so that way when you kill Sydney, you can just hide it under this dude going insane. It really makes sense. if you go that insane, if she was that nuts. So it makes sense. That tension in the car where they have to climb over him to get out of the or the Secret Service dudes or whatever, fantastic. Like the other part where like Gail is in that studio thing and like going by wall, like the second movie actually has more suspenseful moments than the first movie. The second movie, Gail and Dewey are better characters. Their chemistry is a little less like goofy and like starting off, and more like intertwined, and like they actually have a bit more personality. Dewey is now he is a lovable goofball, but he's also wounded and hurt, and like he's still the big brother. He's still a love interest. He's still somebody we can relate to. You got Randy in there who's crushing it as always. He goes right back into how awesome he was. More and more of the movie stuff that's more fun. Two is could be even more fun than the first movie. I think like the only thing it's missing is like Matthew Lillard. It really like but yeah, and then three kind of loses a lot of that like teenage vibe, which is kind of what they were going for. It's a more mature movie. It's a little less fun. It's a little bit more serious. I like three a lot. And I buy that Sydney would go and hide. It makes sense that she'd be gone off the face of this earth. It makes sense that like somebody would have their number, be able to get to her a little bit, flesh her out a little bit. Makes sense. Four really feels like it brings in so many new characters and focuses on them that it does feel like it makes Sydney an afterthought. The exact same thing happens in five. That's the problem, is it's like two different disjointed vibes. They don't fit. That's why I'm excited that this movie doesn't have Sydney in it. Like I would almost rather Gail not be in it, because I feel like she's going down in this movie because she's in it, because she's like the one piece that doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and I like that five brought back like Judy Hicks, and it brought back some of the other characters. You know, it like four. The other thing that sucks about four is like the relationship between Dewey and Gail is very strained. Like, it really craps on his character a little bit. It craps on her character a little bit. And six gets or in four that does that. In five, it kind of pays off a little bit to Gale, and then it just craps on Dewey. Super craps on him, makes him kind of a straight up loser across the board, and then just like I said, unceremoniously kills him off based on the payoff. It's
Yeah.
just like that movie. I went back and watched it. I've seen it like 3 times now. Again, once Halloween Ends came out, like the bar was raised and lowered. Like it's like raised of like, God, I can't believe how bad something can be, and then this one's like, okay, I guess it's not as bad. So I do like Richie. I like a lot of the new characters that are in the movie. I think that the new group is solid. I think Ghostface that's in it is great. I think Stu's house in it is stupid if it doesn't pay off for later for Stu. I think Dewey's death is stupid if it doesn't get paid off. I think I don't know, man. I think that the sisters, the Billy Loomis back call, like, oh no, he was having good times with this other gal, and she had a kid. Like it just feels like really dumb, lazy plot point writing.
Yeah. It's the, oh, they had a sibling.
Right.
Oh, they had it's
We'll let the kids carry on the Ghostbusters. We'll let the kids of the Goonies be the new Goonies. We'll let like guys like it's been done to death to where it's just not even fun to watch anymore. But I don't know. Like I'd love to hear people defend Scream 5, because I just don't get it. Like if you just want to go and be entertained, it's fast, it's moving, it's got good characters, like, but the plot points, the payoff, like the story's dumb.
yeah. That's why I'm hopeful. Like Scream 6, the only thing it's got to lose is um um Gale. Like outside of that, all bets are off. I don't care who really dies. Like and with Halloween Ends kind of lowering my expectations that far, and the underdog films of last God, that was last year. Oh, it's 2023. Excuse me while I have a moment. The underdog films being the ones that really, really shined bright, like um Terrifier 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, indie films being the ones that just crushed it, while a lot of the studio films were just bomb after bomb after bomb. It, it's like, I think I'm into Scream 6 for the ride, and if they don't bring back Stu, fine. But if they do, I am going to be there for it and smiling the whole time.
Right. Well, and I don't even want to reveal. Like, you can kind of like, or I don't want the. Yeah, I don't even want to reveal in this movie. To be honest with you, I want us to be waiting and lingering to find out more. I like reveal the stew in the next movie. Like, let this Ghostface just tear through people all the way to the very end and walk off into the sunset. Like,
I agree with what I can't remember if it was you or me when we first started talking about our thoughts of Scream 6. I would love for the ending to be that Ghostface doesn't get revealed, Ghostface kills somebody, and it just kind of like, it narrows down who it could be in theory, but you still don't know. They knocked a lot of numbers out, but still don't know. I mean, give me something different. You don't have to do the same copy and paste formula that worked for 4 and 5.
and so like Swift was saying a Halloween Kills style ending. Yeah, kind of like that's what I was thinking. Like, unfortunately, it is a little on the nose, but yeah, you kill Gail in the like Gail makes a sacrifice play for the rest to get out, and you just see Ghostface just going to town on Gail. Now, and that sounded bad, but I don't know. Like, I just Gail should have died in the last movie. Dewey is your guy. Dewey, I'm sorry. I love Sydney. I know she is the main big part of the DNA, but Dewey is the guy. He's the guy. Like, he is the main character, like the main relatable, the main Sydney's Sydney. Like, she's a strong female final girl. Dewey is Dewey. Like, you don't see a lot of Deweys in movies like this. Like a vulnerable, strong, big brother, love interest, like lovable guy that rises, that gets cut up and keeps coming back. Like, you don't see a character like that. Like, I love Gail. Gail is strong. She was worthless in the last movie. Worthless. She shows up, has a little conversation with Dewey, then she gets shot instantly when they roll up to the house, and she's done. Like, I mean, well, I know they have a little bit more towards the end of the movie, but like, she is worthless. You could delete her from this movie and put her to a phone call. In
Yeah.
the movie, the same.
Man, I don't know. I am hoping to be like that pleasantly surprised, like, wow, that wasn't bad, like Aquaman. Like, my expectations are low. I don't think that I can be, God, I don't want to eat these words later, disappointed by the sixth Scream film after 5 was that rough to get through. Like, even to the point that, like, half of the scenes, like, half of the chase scenes and stuff like that, like, I didn't care. Like, I didn't have anything in it. I didn't.
Well, again, it's like the Ghostface attack in the hospital. Like, you're talking about. I think it was like even at night. I think there was more people the first attack. Like, you're dressing up as Ghostface in the middle of a hospital and chasing her. Like, what if she knocks you out, kicks you in the nut, like anything? Like, come on, guys. Like, really get smart about when Ghostface attacks, where they attack, how they get out. Like, try to put a little bit more thought into it instead of, oh God, here's Ghostface for this one little adrenaline rush for 5 minutes, then he's gone. Like, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I like the sets. I like the idea of this new one. I'm hoping. And now here's my thing. And I've said this before, and I'm going to stand by it. Usually in a horror franchise, that first movie is the GOAT.
Yeah.
Right? Like most people across the board, the first Halloween movie is the best. Like, regardless of how you feel about it, like yada yada, across the board, 85% of people, whatever, is going to say the first Halloween's the best. Same thing with Scream. First movie is the best, period. When you buy the rights to a franchise, when you have the rights to a franchise, and you go back and you make a movie because you know it's instantly, regardless of the quality, going to make a ton of money, you owe me, you owe the fans the best movie since the original. That's what I expect. Period. Like, I'm sorry. I'm going in for entertainment. I'm trying to like look and go, hey, it's just a movie. Was I entertained? But at the same time, this is a horror franchise, one of the top three, probably top four. One of the best quality, like one of the best blah blah blahs. Like you owe it to be the at least second best in the entire franchise. That's all you should be aiming for. And if you can't reach it, you shouldn't do it. That's my opinion.
I can see your argument, but at the same time, we live in a world where the Fast and the Furious franchise exists. And I feel like if we haven't done half of what that franchise has done, we're probably winning. So,
Yeah, that was a whew. But like two and three are their own beasts and very silly and neon lighty. But like four is actually a solid movie. Five gets a little fantastical. Then after five, they just go nuts. So like one, and when you jump from like one to four, really not that bad. It's when you get like towards the tail end of five, then it goes wonky. But 85% of people are nuts. That's true, especially here in the U.S. of A. Let's see. That's why I like the Killers in five. They were devoted fans who were pissed at these trash sequels. Okay, but like again, the Killers are. If you're gonna bring in Sydney, she's a big part of the DNA. Her mother is a big part of the DNA. The trauma, the loss, the betrayal, all that stuff. That's why you buy one and two and three. Like they all connect to her mom. They connect to Sydney strongly. Four is a little loosey goosey. You bring in a character we really didn't know exist, and we push that narrative. It's in the town of Woodsboro. Okay, like same thing with five. In the town of Woodsboro, she's in the house. We're pushing it. Like the more we go, the less I buy the motives. Like, and you don't need a motive to be nuts, especially in today's world, especially when you live in the town of crazy. I get it. But like again, like I don't know. I don't know. Billy and Stu, the first movie, I buy it. The second movie, an older gal plotting her revenge, I get it. Roman plotting his revenge, being very resourceful, I get it.
yeah.
It just slowly gets more and more or less believable, which is any franchise that keeps going this long. So it's fair. I get it. It's just, it doesn't have to. Like, look how many shows go on for seasons and seasons and they can maintain quality. Don't tell me for movies you can't maintain quality. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I won't believe it. So, anyway, it comes out this week. We've avoided spoilers amazingly, thank God. And I hope that the would-be spoilers that are out there, I hope they are false. I hope they're fake. I hope people go in there and are completely blown away because they thought they were spoiled and they weren't. I hope those people come out big smile. uh, um, Jill's motives. I mean, they do. It works, but like again, a character that comes out of nowhere, I don't buy it. It's just it's fine. It's fine because it doesn't hurt anything. I think the reason why these two new guys hurt because they again characters that come out of nowhere. I don't buy skinny 110-pound gal taking out Dewey. Like if it didn't affect the core characters, or um if you had Richie taking out Dewey, I'm sorry. I don't mean to this. I know some people are going to take this. Oh, John, you're just. I'm sorry, guys. Like, watch the scene again. Dewey, they get shot in the chest multiple times. They lift Dewey off the ground. Like, I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it. Like, that's the problem. Like, if they're going to go down, you have to sell me this death, and you didn't.
Yeah. No.
So yeah. So anyway, super excited. Can't wait for Thursday when I'm going to see it. Caleb's going to see it between now and Saturday. We're going to try to get together, assuming our lives have been crazy because like it's just hard to keep everybody healthy and happy and it's just exhausting trying to keep up with everything and god dang. My kid, I can't tell you how many times a day they just cough in my face. Like
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I'll probably hop on maybe Friday if I get time just to say, hey, like a quick little summation, maybe like try not to give you one way or the other, but just the I'll let you know if we both seen it, if we still plan on going Saturday. But anyway, Jason Swift, thanks man for hanging out with us. It was a lot of fun. Technical difficulties, connection looked pretty good for YouTube, so
Yeah. It looks good.
so Yep. So more to come. Hopefully we stay healthy. More videos coming. I've got a lot of unboxings and stuff that I've been doing just for easy content. So, but yeah, we'll be talking movies soon. Hopefully Scream 6 is awesome. Caleb, if you real fast rank the Scream franchise again.
Worst is 5, followed by 3, then 4, then 2, then 1.
Yeah. Yeah. My ranking is hasn't changed. It's 1's the best, and it steadily gets a little worse. Like, and 2 is a solid follow up. I have no issues with 2. If 1 is a 10, 2 is like a 9.5. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way, and if 5 is a steady, like it's like that, and then 5's like whoa. But
Jumped off the Grand Canyon.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Jason will be seeing it Thursday, and then Scream 6 will be balls to the wall. I hope so, man. I hope it's awesome. I really am rooting for it. For as much as I didn't like 5, still like the director, still like the actors. So, oh my God, Jason, dropping a bomb here. Number 1 is 3, 2, 1, 4, and 5. Holy God, dude. I do like 3. I think that it is. I do think people poop on it a lot, but damn, that is cool to see with somebody with 3 as number 1. That's pretty cool. So yeah, 3, 2, 1, 4, 5. That's interesting, man. That's crazy. Oh
I
man, Jason always in here just dropping it, burning it down.
lost. How did that?
Crazy. But all right, guys. Well, what's up,
I'm just so confused by his ranking, but
dude? Yeah, he enjoys the entire franchise. Dude, 3 is a solid movie. 2 is great, like especially if you love the new characters that are in there that are a one shot for that movie, which is same for 3. One shot for that movie. Parker Posey's fantastic. That must be said. 3 has a lot of fun moments. But anyway, guys. So yeah, hopefully we'll be back Saturday. I'll have some more unboxings coming soon. So appreciate your time. Make sure and like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you can get some more R&R. We'll be back soon. Bye bye.
peace.
High body count does. Peace, Jason.